There are a number of modern ideologies that function like religious cults. To examine them, we first need to define what a cult is. Modern movements like Marxism or radical environmentalism cannot be understood except as religious systems of thought. Modern Western cults, or what some sociologists call marginal religious groups, often originate in Christianity. I have identified 10 characteristics of these marginal cultic groups. Characteristic number 1. In the modern West, cults spring out of Christianity. A cult takes a Christian doctrine, something that is true, but then so overemphasizes that truth that they depart from the truth. In an earlier video, I have identified Marxism as a Christian cult. I remember one time teaching this in a Sunday school class, and one of my students got very upset, questioning how could I say Marxism was Christian. Well, it's Christian in this sense. The fundamental tenet of Marxism is equality, the equal worth of all human beings. Now, they got that idea from Genesis 1:27 and nowhere else, because that's where it originates. So Marxism believes that people are of equal worth and equal value, something that is theologically true. But then they distort it terribly by looking for equal results, equal outcomes. And when that outcome doesn't exist, they believe something sinister is afoot. Characteristic number 2, a cult claims exclusive access to truth. They claim to possess truth known by no one else. If they have enough power, they will even deny other groups the right to express their beliefs. And this explains cancel culture. The most powerful cult in the Western world right now is the progressive left, a derivative of Marxism. They control our universities, and they don't argue with people they think are wrong. They deny them the right to speak, and this is a standard cultic practice. Characteristic number 3, a cult claims to explain everything. Every aspect of existence is covered in their belief system, and that belief system guides everything they think, say, and do. And sometimes this is called a worldview, or is a narrative. A cult has a narrative, and everything must fit it. One of the most powerful cults in the world right now is radical environmentalism, the Greens, or the Green Movement. Their central theological assumption is that man is destroying the earth. Every piece of evidence is twisted to fit their narrative. If it's hot in your city, that's proof of their theory. However, if there's a blizzard, that also proves it. They accept no contrary evidence. Their narrative rules over all. Characteristic number 4, in order to establish themselves as uniquely true, cults have to have practices no one else has. The Mormons have 3 heavens and elaborate rituals for getting there. They baptize for the dead and get married for time and eternity. Jehovah's Witnesses eschew birthday and Christmas celebrations and forbid blood transfusions. The progressive left installs wokeness in all its forms, cancel culture, transgender rights, and other causes no one else espouses. If you claim to be uniquely right, you have to have beliefs that you uniquely hold and rituals that you uniquely practice. Characteristic number 5, the cult holds that it alone can provide redemption, forgiveness for sins, atonement. By joining their group or adhering to their ideology, you can be purged of the penalty for your wrongdoing. 6, cults form communities of like-minded individuals. It might be like a church or a civic club or a faculty lounge, but it is a place where the cultist can go and be with others who have been purified and think the right thoughts. You do not have to be bothered by all those wrong ideas floating around that might disturb your sense of certainty. Characteristic number 7, cults manipulate reality to gain converts. The progressive left argues that one's sexual nature is flexible, that just because you were born a man does not mean you have to stay a man. The problems of the homeless are not caused by mental illness or drug addiction, but by an oppressive capitalist system. Criminals are not people who make selfish choices, but victims of an evil system, and on it goes. Reality has to be made to conform to the cult's presuppositions. Number 8, people who disagree with the cult's ideas are not merely mistaken, they are evil. Hence, a cult will move heaven and earth to keep its adherents protected from what they call misinformation. There are hundreds of academic departments in Western universities that do not have a single dissenting voice from the central narrative of the cult. Characteristic number 9, cults have a powerful vision for the end of the world. They give their followers a thrilling vision of how history is going to end. Marx told his followers that history was inevitably heading toward a workers' paradise, a utopia where everyone would be equal and no one would have need of anything. This is a highly motivating doctrine, and all cults promise a utopia of some kind. It tends to lie just over the horizon, and the world isn't quite ready yet for the final consummation. Number 10, the leaders have an overwhelming desire for power and wealth, usually in that order. They hunger to control the lives of their followers and by extension the lives of others. They are supremely confident they know how others should order their lives, even if they themselves do not order their lives that way. The American upper classes have been captured by cultic thinking, and they are imposing their religion on the rest of us. The only force that can successfully resist them is the Christian faith. May God grant us the ability and fortitude to stand against them in defense of the truth of the gospel and for the good of mankind. Thank you for listening. May our God bless you this day in a mighty way.